your only option now is Israel. Okay? And that's why I believe that this war in Iran, what it will do is shift the center of gravity from America to Israel. Because Israel wants to be the center of the world, not China. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? All right. The other thing you have to understand is that for this to happen, though, transnational capital needs to first collapse the American economy. And there are different ways they can do that, right? They can collapse the private credit bubble, they can collapse the AI bubble, they can collapse both at the same time. And why would they want to do that? Because as a banker, as transnational capital, you make your money through activity, right? When people go and do stuff, whether it's entrepreneurship or starting wars, but they have to go do stuff. And right now, America has a lot of problems, okay? So let's look at America's problems. First is aging, where the elite are now older and older. Therefore, they are less active, they are less energetic, they're less entrepreneurial, okay? Then you have something called quantitative easing, which is like too much money in the system. You have too much money in the system, then people do stupid things like gamble, okay? All right? And the last problem of America is you can't win wars. Okay? Like this Iran situation is showing that the American military is not as strong as you think it is. So if you're transnational capital, you see these three things, okay? The population is getting too old. There's too much money around, so people do stupid things like gambling. And the American military is not that great. Then you're going to shift your capital from America overseas, okay? But before you do that, what you want to do is engineer a financial crisis so that you can make as much money as possible, just like the 2008 financial crisis, okay? So we don't know when it will happen, but we can be sure that it will happen. It'll be suddenly, okay? Okay, does that make sense, guys? Now, you're like, wait a minute here. Why would Trump and the Americans allow this to happen? They must know this is coming. And the answer is because it is in the long-term best interest of America for the economy to collapse and for transnational capital to go elsewhere. And this is something we'll discuss next class, okay? What the long-term American strategy is. Transnational capital is leaving America, and the Americans are like, oh my God, Bank of England, City of London, these parasites are leaving? Thank you, get out of here, man, okay? And what will happen is once they leave, America will probably have a much brighter future. And it's something we'll discuss next class. But any questions? Yep.
So seems like that America is in a disadvantaged situation, but they know what they are doing and they're just sending parasites outside of their country and having a more long-term benefit. Is that right?
Okay, so this is something we'll discuss next class, okay? But this is not a deliberate strategy. All right, because if you think about it, economic collapse will destroy a lot of wealth in America. It will probably create conditions for civil war in America. It will create a lot of pain. But there are certain people, for example, Donald Trump, who believe that this pain is necessary in order for America to become great again, okay? He said his motto is what? Make America great again. And how do you do that? You get rid of these parasites. But to get rid of parasites, guys, it's a painful process. It's like a cancer, right? Have you guys been through cancer treatment? It's painful. Chemotherapy, they do surgery on you. You have to like eat this, crappy food all the time. It's a painful process, okay? So transnational capital, it's a parasitic force, it's a cancer on the American host. They have to get rid of it, but it's gonna be a very painful process. That's gonna take a long time, years, possibly decades, okay? Yeah, Amber?
Thank you. So if transnational capital is leaving America, then how would you think this shift would impact the global economy? Or would it at all?
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, all right, so this is something we'll discuss later on, okay? But let me just show you how this shift happens. All right, so right now you're in America. And the best place for you to shift is Israel, okay? Why? Because you're interested in activity, okay? You're interested in putting your money in a place where it's gonna grow, right? And why is Israel growing? Well, because of the Greater Israel Project, right? They want to conquer the Middle East, but then it has to rebuild, right? After the war, rebuilding. And then what it's gonna do is become the hub of global trade, right? Because Israel controls Africa. And this is something we'll discuss next class, okay? So this is why you want to invest in Israel, for these 3 reasons. Why? Because they're going to keep on fighting wars to achieve the Greater Israel Project. Wars are profitable. Wars are the most profitable enterprise in the world, okay? Second is that they have to rebuild after all this destruction. So they need capital. And the third is they will control global trade because of the location, okay? So this is why Israel is a smart investment for transnational capital. I'm not talking about like us, okay, with like $1,000. I'm talking like trillions of dollars will probably go into Israel. All right, so to leave America, what you want is a stock market collapse, okay? An economic collapse. Why? Because economic collapse not only allows you to leave with as much money as possible, but also allows you to buy up distressed assets. And when I mean distressed assets, I mean resources, which include water, oil, okay? So you want to create as much damage as possible because then it's easier for you to buy up these resources. And okay, does that make sense? Right? So these guys plan decades ahead. But transnational capital, what they do is they're trying to create as much chaos as possible because in chaos, there's profit. Like if everyone's sitting around doing nothing, you can't make any money, okay? But if people are fighting each other, if there's blood on the streets, you can make a lot of money, right? Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Okay, so we'll talk about what happens after this financial shift next class, okay?